Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome back to another episode of the We Got Y'all podcast. I am your girl, Ray P, back for another. Of course, I am here with my amazing co host, back from the trenches.
Straight up. Back from the
Not
trenches.
locked away, shut up in the gulag, right here before y'all. Kieron Richardson. What's going on, friend?
I'm doing all right. Always great seeing you. Always great knowing that you would do everything in your power to get me out the gulag.
I mean, I'm not going to let you die out there.
Nah, if you got to make the same phone call every single day, you're going to do it every single
For
day.
sure.
Putting it all on the line. Alex is ready to risk it all, her whole reputation, her whole career, just to do the right thing. We'll talk about that this episode, but obviously feels good to be back here with you. Shout out to everybody out there for listening to We Got Y'all
Yes.
as we wrap up our second series in 2 weeks. We just finished Reasonable Doubt. And before we get started today, I want to highlight a couple of comments that we received on our YouTube page based off of Reasonable Doubt. So we got a comment from Blatant Truth 1000. Love the commentary. Thanks for the reviews. You already know what it is.
Thank you.
No problem at all. Thank you for listening. Lynn Vins 242. Shout out to Lynn Vins.
And
What a plot twist. Very exciting ending, but unexpected to say the least. Excellent acting by the guy who played Ozzy and the actress who plays Jax. A lot on her plate. Absolutely. Shout out to, I think Kyle Berry is his name. I didn't really. Did you know him from anything besides or before this?
I didn't.
Yeah, me neither. But I think he's definitely got. We just did an episode of Culture Garden, and I mentioned a young cast um, of who could be cast for a certain Tyler Perry movie, and who knows, But I think that cast is out actually. That's a whole other story for another day. Shout out to Kyle Berry. He really did his thing with that role. And then Deshauna Giles 4258. Thanks for covering the season. I really enjoyed the commentary. I think it may be another plot twist at the beginning of next season. Maybe she shoots herself. Please come back to do next season. We appreciate you for listening. Thank you for wanting us to cover it and continue to do so.
For sure.
Reasonable Doubt. We'll see what happens when it's really depends on what's on our plate at the moment. I think Rachel and myself might say, hindsight being 2020, knowing then what I know now, maybe we didn't do both of these shows at once. as, as cool as it was to gather every single week, doing two shows at one time on the same day can be a lot on top of regular life. But we're trying to make sure we're mindful of that in the future so we can make sure we give y'all the best content. But
for sure,
season finale. Go ahead.
Just before we go, I will also want to shout out actually both our Neos, Mel and Lance Price, not just on on their baby. I said our baby. It is our baby. Yeah. Also, to Mel, she listens and she said that we make her laugh. So shout out to you. And again, congrats on the baby.
Shout out to Mel. Shout out to Lance. Yeah, absolutely, man. I got a funny Lance story, but that's not neither here nor the time or the place. But have a very funny Lance story. Rachel,
yes,
we reached the finale.
For sure.
Morning show.
You made it.
I want to get your thoughts overall on the season. Before I do, I want to get into the stats because I have my own thoughts on how things wrapped up. Okay. Not just with this finale, but about the last 4 or 5 episodes. Really since Amari -1. But we have episode 10 titled Knowing Violation, directed by Mimi Leader, written by Charlotte Stout and Joey Longstreet. Synopsis is very simple. Alex lays everything on the line to bring Bradley home. Shout out to the real ones out there. Once again, shout out to Ray P. We wrap up this season. I want to get your thoughts on the finale, how the season ended, and if you have an idea where this might rank in the 4 seasons that we've had. Might be a little too soon for
that. Okay. That's a lot of questions and a lot of thoughts. So
let's start with just overall.
Overall, I enjoyed this season. I know a lot of people thought it was boring, but I actually did enjoy this season. For episodes like Amari, for even the penultimate, there was a couple other highlight episodes for me. Parent Trap, that was great. Yeah, I enjoyed this season. thoughts on the last 4 episodes? Ended strongly, could have been stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I think I wanted a little bit more from the finale. I appreciate what we got. I mean, definitely lots of plot twist moments. Gotcha. We were right about some things. We were wrong about some things. So I didn't hate it. It was an easy watch and rewatch, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I would have liked to see, yes, welcome home, Bradley. But I do think I would have liked to see her um, come back next season. I
I
think a cliffhanger of Alex on the plane to go get her would have been a good like ending point
mm,
for the season.
because were the plot twist worth her coming home? And it
Hmm.
sounds like they weren't for you. I said, were the plot twists in the episode worth her coming home this episode for you? And it sounds like it maybe wasn't. You still wanted her to come home next season. That would have been more realistic.
Yeah, I definitely think next season made a bit more sense. And we don't know what the days are. We know she was over there for a month, but between Alex outing Celine and Alex getting over to Belarus, like how many days was that? Because it's a day flight,
Yeah,
a day and
yeah.
some change. So I would be very curious to know what that would have looked like. Um, I always liked Paul and Alex, so good to
Mm-hmm.
see that there's still some chemistry there.
We called
Maybe,
that.
yeah, we did. Maybe they're teasing a Mia and Ben situation.
I hope not.
I hope not. I don't
Yeah, I
really
hope not. I'm
want to
not trying
see
to see that.
that. But I'm excited for her to go to Paris again. We didn't get Chris in the finale. I would like
Nope.
to know if for whatever reason she does actually end up in Paris, what that looks like. But again, that would be for next season. Even though I wish we would have got it in this one. The hmm?
That's the thing that's going to be messed up. We're not going to get any Paris anything.
Yeah,
Just a mention, maybe. You know what I mean? It's going to go on to whatever the next
it's
thing is.
happening
So
in the next
it
year
would have been dope to get to the Olympics. I think that could have been a really that's the storyline that could have really separated itself from prior seasons.
for sure. For sure. But probably, licensing and all of that. Like just talking
Yeah,
about Paris is enough, let alone trying to
yeah,
do the logistics of it all. You can shoot anywhere, but whatever.
right, right.
The Corey of it all, his moment of self-actualization. Loved that. Um, Shout out to Miles returning. You called that. I didn't think that I was unsure if we would see him, but here he is, and here he is knowing the things. Shout out to spouses who do in fact know where all the bodies are buried. No matter how close you think we are, the husband and wife always knows more. So I
Mm-hmm.
did enjoy that little, dare I say, gotcha moment. It was good. I was satisfied.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Um, I really enjoyed the finale.
Hmm.
Kind of what you expect is in the. I know there are going to be some twists and turns. I'm glad it worked out this way, but that's the thing. Going back to your whole, it would have been nice to see Bradley next season. This
Hmm.
show kind of it's conditioned you to expect a happy ending
Yeah.
at the end. You know what I mean? We don't really maybe the trying to think of how the season ended with Bradley and the FBI. They walked in together, her and
Hmm.
Alex. Like so, it wasn't anything. It wasn't anything going out kicking and screaming. Every season kind of works out how it needs to,
Yeah.
and I knew that Celine was going to go down. It might have been
Hmm.
cool to have Celine as the villain for a while and have her
Yeah.
running this under. I would have liked to see that story a little bit. I will tell you this: the way they're setting up Mia and Ben to kind of be the ones that keep things afloat while they're waiting on a permanent CEO. I would like to see that because I do want to see more of Mia in a power position and how
Yeah.
she handles
Mia's
things.
definitely gonna step up.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm glad the writing room is like seeing that she's obviously been always been a prominent character, but to
Mhm.
see her on the same level screen time wise as maybe an Alex or Bradley or even a Celine or Stella that or Corey, that third kind of person,
For
I
sure.
want to see a lot more of that. And she kind of comes attached with Chris, so that
Mhm.
means more Mia, more Chris. I am excited, and we talked about Amari and how much we loved that episode. So I'm still in. The one thing I will say is I will not be shocked if we get that news that this is going to be the final season of the morning show.
Mm-hmm.
I really do believe that they've told their story. They do have a unique formula where they write their seasons based off of real events.
For
So
sure.
they can keep going on. Actually, if this was a broadcast channel like a CBS, NBC, if this was like the West Wing of journalism, then
Mm-hmm.
yeah, maybe it could go on for your 10, 11 seasons. But in prestige TV world, I don't think they need to stretch anything out past 5. I think we've seen
Yeah.
everything we can. Alex, the executive, there's only so much so many people can go. There's only so many CEOs we can recycle, head of news we can recycle. Let
For sure.
everybody get their swan song and wrap it up. But if they hear, they hear. That's all I'll say. So
I'll be watching regardless.
I'll be watching regardless, yeah. But for the sake of the show, I don't want it to jump the shark and go down a bad path.
For sure.
Let's get into the show as we mentioned it. Just want to shout out Bradley. I know we talked about her, but they got Bradley going through it. They got the bright lights. They have what looks like a towel as a mattress. They're playing the heavy metal music. They're feeding her who knows what, don't want to know what.
Mm-hmm.
Really doing their own forms of torture, psychological warfare, really, in order to find out who she was there to see. And she's not cooperating.
Right.
She's not cooperating at all. We just see the condition she's in, but until the end of the episodes, we don't know anything else. So I kind of want to pivot into the Mia of it all, and then we can get into the main characters. Because I think Corey's with Celine, Alex, and who's the other person I'm thinking of? Alex, Corey,
Bradley.
Bradley,
Miles.
Celine. Yeah, Alex, Corey, Celine. Excuse me. I think are the big players this
Mm-hmm.
episode, and of course Corey mixed in with there. So, I think I did say that. Anyway, Mia has been put on task to find out who snuck into the Alex AI and switched some things up.
Yeah.
And we knew, obviously, from earlier in the season, there was a deep fake situation. Rachel, once again, you were right. In real time, a lot of people thought it was Stella.
Mm-hmm.
You said there was something tricky about Celine, and you've been calling it all season. And now we find out, as Mia finds this producer by the name of Bart, he was responsible for the deep fake. We don't see the conversation of him giving up Celine, but we know what happened because we have Alex and Celine's showdown as she accuses her. You called it. What was it? What made you see it? What did you think about this whole blow up between Alex and Celine for this power struggle?
I keep telling y'all that I be knowing.
Mm-hmm.
Minus these, it's not even minus these niggas, but I am a good I'm a good judge of character, written or otherwise. But I didn't trust her from the beginning. The only thing I will say is I felt like it was too easy for Mia to figure that out. I know that Ben had to provide this extra layer of information that was not accessible prior to this episode, but it was very easy just to send that decoded text message. Like, I don't send private messages to people, and so I don't know what level of security would be required, but clearly we all know we work here. So is everybody just sending these anonymous Google numbers, Google messages, just like that was how Claire was interacting with Bradley as well, from these anonymous numbers. So I just felt like it was a bit too easy for her to figure that out. And I know he said that, or Mia said that she would keep Bart's name out of it. But even he gave her up a bit too easily. And so I'm wondering if the deal wasn't that damn sweet, or is the newsroom everybody's allegiance truly to Mia, like we've been saying? So I think it's probably a combination of the two,
That's a great point, because if you are in that position that Bart's in, Mia, respectfully, you don't have as much juice as Celine.
Right.
So I don't have any reason to give this information on you. Even I don't care if you caught me in the act.
Mm-hmm.
The person I'm doing this for can protect me if it comes down to it.
For
or I might identify the fact that I'm the fall guy at that point.
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
she's not going to admit to it. So he did that on his own. He was working alone, and that's the end of it. So he was screwed either way. So going back to your point, maybe it was, you know what? If I'm going down, I might as well go down with a little bit of honor and tell Mia, who I do ride for, have some respect for, what happened. But I do wish, to your point, that they explained a little bit better how Mia just came to that conclusion. I don't know
Yeah,
if it was just a looking at numbers and something didn't look right, or looking at that page, but that's a lot of information without an explanation to us as viewers.
for sure. For sure. I agree with that. And I knew Mia had to tell Alex. I knew she was going to tell Alex, but I think Alex jumped the gun on confronting Stella because for me, you're a journalist, yes, and I understand the emotion and the passion behind it because you do have that aha moment. Not only you saw me going crazy behind this shit, you knew how down bad I was. You knew how it affected me, and you just not only set it up, but you watched me torment myself about it. That's that. But then consider for Alex to be as seasoned as she is, I felt like she moved out of emotion because what she should have done is, to her point, I'm questioning everything you've done, every move you've made since you got here. Alex should
Mm-hmm.
have started building a case.
Mm-hmm.
While it worked out, quote unquote, for
Yeah.
this season, because I also don't think we've seen the last of Celine. They've introduced her family, so I do think that there will be something to come of this betrayal, of this explosion next season. But you confronted her too quickly. This is the time to investigate the moves, the deals, the conversations that Celine has had up to this point. Why is she and Bro so chummy? How was she able to do XYZ? And then we later find out, well, not later, pretty much immediately find out that Celine knows about the deal that Alex and Paul made with the Russians.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yep.
consider, you know what I'm saying? Like you
Mm-hmm.
jump, and I know that the point is to save Alex, I mean to save Bradley. Howsoever, I think that there was a smarter way to play that and to get as much information as possible as you possibly could. We know that Stella's gone. Howsoever, now that Stella's given Mia all of this information, let's see Alex and Mia going through everything that Stella gave to Mia. Let's see she and Mia going through what the information that Chip gave. You know what I'm saying? Like there's
Mm-hmm.
lots of skeletons in this closet of Celine. So I just think I wish they would have explored the true nature of her villainousness. Villainy? Somebody figure out what the adjective is.
Hmm. That's a great question. Um, Villainy. Now I don't think. Oh, either way, great summary, great
Yeah.
rundown. This, and I don't know if the writing room did this on purpose. I think it's probably me just observing. We've been talking all season about Alex, the executive, and
Hmm.
how it just doesn't fit. It just doesn't look right.
Yeah.
Right? It's just it doesn't seem like a natural fit as it was when she was a journalist. I don't know if they were intentionally trying to show Alex in limbo between those two roles as to
Hmm.
why she didn't stop and build this case, because that's her journalistic nature, right? To
Yeah.
stop and really figure out what's going on. But I also look at Alex this season and don't see her capable, not because she can't do it because she's Alex Levy, but
Hmm.
the mental space of where she is. She's wearing too many hats and she's got her, hand in too many pots. And I don't know if she knows how to really stop, sit down for a second and build this case, or has the capability to do so, especially without Bradley and with Bradley locked up, with that being on her
Hmm.
mind. So maybe it was to show, and it shows the difference between, and we've also had this conversation between her and Celine.
Hmm.
And these people of power are not to be
Fucked with.
messed with.
Hmm.
Really, yeah, they're really not. And Celine would have taken that information and she would have sat on it for as long as she needed to.
For sure.
The
For
same
sure.
way when she's been Shout out to Alonzo and Trainer Day. You've been planning this all day. I've been planning this all week. Selena's been making moves all season. Actually, before we even knew who Selena was, she was making moves by making Corey head of news for UBN. She has a vision. She told Corey in one of those episodes earlier this season, I'm going to be CEO and chairperson. Like, I have all of this mapped out, and everything she wanted to do, she did it because she has that vision. It's power. Alex, to her credit, is not driven off that. It was never really about power. She wanted say in the things that she had to do with, but she wasn't power hungry where I have to run this company. I just want to run the shit that I do.
And she really believes in the news.
Yeah.
She really wanted to save the network. When they found out last season about Paul's evil plans and whatnot, you know, she was really affected by that, not just because it was the first love story she's had in 2 seasons that she actually gave a fuck about, but because of what that would do to the network, to UBA and whatnot, you know? So I felt for Alex in regards to all of that.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I want to get, since we talked about that confrontation, we kind of have to talk about the demand that Selena made, which is you need to resign within 24 hours. Going back to your point, this did irritate me.
Yeah.
That's a very short line to draw if you're trying to figure out how Selena found out about this meeting.
Exactly.
Like, you both, Paul and Alex, are both very, very not only smart but successful people. A ton of resources. It took me 10 seconds to stop and say, hey, let's just draw the lines. Who knew about the meeting? Let's start there. It's a very small group who has something to gain or benefit from leaking this information. Maybe it's the person in those situations you don't look at the person. Excuse me, you look at the person that you wouldn't suspect. Paul, especially, because Paul only really told one person. I'm responsible for one person. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that person wasn't the one that did it. Like, I don't know. It's just kind of silly. But either way.
For sure. And same, man, Alex only had Mia in on it. You know, it wasn't like the whole newsroom was helping to plot this. So there really was, other than either Mia or Paul's number 2.
Yeah, like that should have been put together.
Information, and they just didn't. And I know that that's what happens when emotions run high. And then also knowing how powerful Celine is, considering that she has the power to have you jailed, just thinking about, not only am I losing my job, my career, livelihood, reputation, but now the feds are about to know about me too. Like, it's a lot, and I understand just getting into that fight or flight mode, but you still have to be tactical.
Have to.
As to which we saw her in the long term, in the long run with Corey. But I really would have liked to see she, Hell, and Chip essentially build a stronger case against Celine, because we still don't know what else she's done, what other evil things, because it's not over. I mean, we, the audience, know about the bro deal. They don't know about any of that for real yet, you know? I think Alex alluded to it a little bit in the penultimate, but y'all don't have any idea of the depths at which Celine was willing to go. Not for real. So I would have liked to uncover a little bit more of that, especially when you consider the return of Miles in this episode.
Yeah. We have to get that in season 5. We have to. To your point, the DuPont story can't be finished because way too powerful.
Yeah.
And maybe things about the sign come out. Maybe things about all the other cover-ups, how her rise to power came to be. I'm sure Corey officially is going to be a whistleblower for all the things he knows as well. So I'm sure they'll write it in. We'll see what happens with it. Speaking of Corey, he starts the episode. We see him with Celine, kind of cuddled up, and we can still visibly see him being shook when Bradley's name's mentioned. We hear Bradley's name on the news. Shook and cold. It's a weird mixture. You know what I mean? You could tell he cares, but you can also tell he doesn't give a fuck. And what that comes from, obviously, we get a glimpse at later on in the episode. But Chip comes to see him after figuring out there's some discrepancies in the numbers and pretty much says, "Hey, I remember you being mentioned about this. Bradley was mentioning this to you to the story. I know you and her fell out, but it looks like she's right, bro. Like, and if there's something you can tell us about this to help Bradley get home, we can do that." And Chip's pretty much like, "Listen, my mom just died.
Corey.
Fuck Bradley. Corey, excuse me.
Mhm.
Corey just said, my mom just died. Fuck Bradley. You up here small talking me. I got this big budget. This technology's not working. I don't care about nothing you saying right now." But still has it in him to take the paperwork that Chip left after Chip kind of called him out on this bullshit.
I love that scene from Corey.
Okay. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, just shout out to the not just the expression acting, but literally the delivery of I don't want to call it a monologue, but the delivery of the script, because yes, free Bradley. Howsoever, if my parent, my sole living parent, who I have this interesting, to say the least, relationship with, this dynamic relationship with my mother, she dies, I uncover whatever information. I don't quite know what to make of it. As we later learn, he does have the story wrong in regards to this letter, or this the report that his mother left for him in the jacket. And here comes Chip, who I low-key was jealous of earlier in the season, betrayed Stella behind the news that Chip gave me about his success, and where I'm falling short. Consider Chip's role with Alex through the years, Chip's role in the demise of Corey at the network previously. I already don't really like you. Like,
Yeah.
we cool, but we ain't that cool. It's definitely more of a business thing. And here you are, you were working with Alex, who was quote unquote the love of my life. You were working with her, and y'all thought I was in on some bullshit when I really wasn't. And so I appreciated Corey's delivery in that, because all of this is going on, and nigga, my fucking mom just died. And actually, she unalived herself in front of me. I
Yeah,
was sitting right there. I've
mm-hmm.
got other fish to fry. Like, I have other things on my mind besides this shit. And so thank you, but also fuck you. And fuck Alex. Like, okay, you told me that she did feel bad. Thanks. My mom is
Yeah.
still
Yeah, it's nothing to me.
Yeah.
And he put it in a fashion only on the only way Corey could, which is tell me which is worse. The love of your life using you for information, or your mom unaliving herself in front of you. Now, that's what I'm dealing with right now. So respectfully, fuck you and your paperwork.
Yeah, for sure.
In true
For
Corey
sure.
fashion, the only way he could. Now, we do see a flashback scene of Corey and Bradley.
Mm-hmm.
Right when Bradley comes back to New York and they're laying in bed, and we kind of get a reason, or see a reason as to why Corey is going to do what he does this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she lies, she's not upfront about why she came back. They had a sweet moment of talking about giving it a shot, and I'm going to fuck up, and I'm going to do my best to disappoint you, and really just coded way of saying I'm going to give this all I have. It's going to look stupid, whatever the case is, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
He remembers that love. He remembers that moment in the bed and the feeling he had for Bradley before the bullshit and Wolf River. He decides to look at the numbers himself and help. Did you think anything of that flashback scene? Did that give you any kind of, I guess, motivation for Corey's character to want to help Alex after being cold most of this entire season? Or did it feel a little bit, did you expect it, I guess?
Now, see, because I won't say Corey was cold most of the season. Um, I think that what the flashback showed us was that there really was tenderness between them, and he really did.
Tenderism.
If the rest of the season, or even the scene with Chip, didn't fully explain that how much Corey really did love Bradley, I think that that was a good homage to that. This is a nod. Like, this was something sweet at one point, and I really did wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe having this extra bit of information, I'm remembering the way I once felt about you and really still do underneath all of the hurt. So,
What
actually, let me ride for you.
was Corey helping out for Bradley for doing the right thing, or two things true?
I think two things are true. And also, a third thing is a fuck you to Celine. Like, thank you. But after Miles basically said, not only did your mama know, she was in cahoots with Celine behind it. And Celine, you watched me struggle. And you're having all this affection towards me, but you've been playing in my face. You've been plotting on me this whole time. Like strange bedfellows we are. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
know. I knew you were crooked, and we knew once Corey presented Celine with the information that she was willing to take it. You know, she wouldn't honor
Mm-hmm.
her promise word to Miles. But I think, yeah, it was a fuck you. I think multiple things are true because I didn't think Corey thought that she would be playing me to the left. I was telling somebody the other day, exceptions and rules. Celine is a snake. Celine slithers. She does all the things. She's betrayal. She's loyal only to herself and essentially her family. So anybody who gets in the way is essentially fair game. And I think Corey thought he was different based off of the nature of their relationship, the history, but that doesn't matter because rules are rules and exceptions are exceptions.
I kind of great points.
Hmm.
I kind of blame Corey for that. You can't see somebody like this and think that you're the exception. I just it's hard for me to believe that.
People always think they're an exception to somebody's bullshit, especially when you consider what a desperate place Corey is in. Now, maybe if
Mm.
Corey is sharp and on his toes and in the right mindset and has all the money in the world at his fingertips and he's not desperate coming back on his hands and knees, begging for a job, begging for an opportunity, dealing with the death of your mother, dealing with the loss of the lady you actually love. Maybe you do see that play. But when you have so much clouding your judgment, it's kind of hard to. And you want to believe that it's different because we talked about how sweet, quote unquote, Celine was to Corey and what her showing up for him when his mother passed, what that looks like. He didn't have anybody else nurturing him. She stood there. She stood in the gap and did that. There is no Bradley. She's the one who did coke with him in the middle of Miles' studio. You know?
Wow.
So he needed to believe that it was different because look how she showed up for me in this capacity and whatever unrequited, I don't really want to call it love, but whatever feelings that she and I had for each other prior to her marrying Miles, while we were all in California, here it is coming to a head. So I'm going to take it all and I'm going to explore it all. And because I'm so clouded, because not necessarily jaded, but a little jade, I'm going to see what it does. I'm going to dive in head first.
I did not look at it like that, but you just made an excellent point. So it's almost like you have a podcast where you talk about television.
I mean,
It almost feels like that. Let's dive into Miles,
okay. Yeah.
who
Welcome back.
has two scenes. We'll combine them together.
Mhm.
We see Miles on the couch looking displeased. Celine's surprised to see him. Really hasn't been much communication. She was not expecting his return. He tells her that, hey, I need some time to think. And I thought, you know what? I want to work on this.
Yeah.
I want to get things right. I want to see if me and Celine can kind of get things going. But he goes to the studio and he finds a vial and realizes, excuse me, that someone was there with Celine,
Mhm.
partying it up, getting
Mhm.
coked out, doing whatever they do.
Mhm.
He asked for who it was. We don't see it on screen, but obviously it's Corey. Next time we see Miles, he's banging on Corey's door, and they have a conversation
Mhm.
about what is actually what. Miles tells him that he's a fall guy. When I say he, I mean Corey. He's a fall guy for everything that has to do with Celine. Going back to his day as head of news,
Mhm.
Martha wasn't the whistleblower. blower when it comes to the Wolf River report. She helped Celine in exchange for Corey getting a job because Corey was spiraling out of control in LA. And like any good mom would do, I'm gonna throw a layup to my son, and she let him believe that it was on his own merit that he
Yeah.
was heading to lose. And we soon realized as an audience that that is what Martha wanted to tell Corey
Hmm.
before she passed. Um, Miles is also upset about stop fucking my wife, bro. How
Yeah.
about we cut that out too? Um, what do you think about this Corey and Miles exchange? Not only Corey's information or finding out the information of his mom being involved, but did he get pressed? I don't know. Was that press? Was that enough pressing to your liking? Did Miles handle this correctly?
Yeah. What would
Okay.
you have had him do? Beat Corey up?
Um, nah, because that's not going to do anything at this point in life. I mean, it's all said and done.
Hmm.
Nor do I pot kettle. You know what I mean? Um, yeah.
Here's
I
the
don't
thing.
know if he. I don't know if I believe Miles. And this is because we've only seen one side of it. Since we've known Miles to be introduced, we saw Miles with Stella before we saw him with Celine,
Correct.
right? I was gonna say it's hard for me to kind of envision the love that he has for Celine. I know it's there. It's just
Mhm.
hard for me to see it because I haven't seen it all season first. So I don't even know if he cares as much as he does. Of course, anybody's gonna feel a way if they find out the wife's been stepping out, but I don't know, bro. You was ready. You was ready to hop on a plane. You had your passport ready. Like I
Yeah.
don't believe you.
But so what? I'm still the husband. We're still
That's fair. I
married.
mean, that's fair. That's very fair.
We're
I just
married.
don't. That's fair.
I can dip and do whatever I want to do, but also consider, and again to your point, pot meets kettle. Stella is a business partner. Corey is both Celine and Miles's friend. So even if I don't care that she is getting some outside dick that does in fact keep these hoes sick,
So,
um, I care that it's you, Loki.
mm,
And we're all friends, we cool, but you have no idea of what the fuck really be going on. And that's the thing. And so I do think that it was, I'm not gonna say courageous. I appreciated Miles giving Corey the actual play because he needed it. Also was a little bit of a press. It was like, nigga, this is what it actually is. You think it's one thing, but it's really another. And Corey needed to hear that because everybody in Corey's life, and from his mother on down, essentially placates him or allows him to live in some sort of fantasy or different reality and what it actually is, you know? And so here
yeah,
is Miles with a dose of reality. And yes, I was getting ready to run off to Italy, to Milan with Stella, but also I'm back. You asked me to stay. You put it out here. I said I needed some time. And I'm back because the reality is we are married. And aside from the fact that there is, I'm sure, some sort of affection that he has for her and vice versa, because for as fucked up as Celine is, we did see her low key down bad for what that looks like to her in regards to the Miles situation, to him taking a break. She blowing him up. He ain't answering. He ain't leaving her on red. He ain't coming home. You done dipped out. Who knows where you really are, you know? So I wasn't mad at that. I appreciated it.
okay, fair enough. I get that. And that was a love and basketball Monica. I just thought the girl should know moment where,
Yeah, like
and it was the most beneficial thing for Corey this entire episode, really.
for sure.
Like that one moment unexpectedly became
Mhm.
the catalyst for what we see in Corey's motivation. Because if it wasn't for that, I don't know if I'm not gonna say I don't know if Corey would have done it one way or another, but I know that was a nudge and the push that he needed
For sure.
to really realize that Celine, because I think he knew, and this goes back to something I said earlier. Not that you were expecting Celine to play you, but you at least were aware enough to know it's possible.
It's within the realm of possibility.
Yeah, it could happen. I'm not expecting it, but it could.
Mm-hmm.
And this lets me know, okay, it's been going on. It's been going on for quite some time. And then when you mix in the mom aspect of it, my mom did this for me.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, he sees Alex and said, I think I killed my mom.
Yeah.
And obviously he had nothing to do with that, but a mother's love. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean?
Shout out to
And
Papa.
yeah, and he didn't think that she could face him with that information.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, I don't know how much of that is real or Corey just being, Corey. But I also do believe and understand the predicament
For sure.
and knowing that this killed people. Like this isn't. Sometimes I think when it comes to these kind of white collar crimes, as they call them,
Mm-hmm.
how much of it actually hits their conscience. Because normally in shows like this, we don't see that. We don't see them losing sleep over some people in middle of nowhere, Ohio,
Mm-hmm.
losing their lives and being infected. But somebody like Corey does, and somebody like Bradley does, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I appreciate that because it keeps you human.
Yeah,
It keeps
facts.
you human. One thing that I say, especially as a ridiculous person, for the most part, who be doing any old thing, like there was a point in time, and not to be too anecdotal, but there was a point in time, where I left, quote unquote, the church, and so I will always say I'm in the far country, which is a line essentially from the prodigal son. So they talk about the son. I'm out in the far country. I'm out here doing whatever the fuck I want to do. I'm living this, that, and the third. And so my old minister of music, who kind of helped shepherd me back into the fold, like we always say, okay, we're gonna kill the fatted calf. And so in that time when I came back, so in that time being gone, like while you doing whatever, I think for me, I will always say, Lord, don't let me lose my conviction. And so this is what we see in Corey. Like there is still a little bit of conviction here. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this is fucked up. Bradley, despite covering for her brother with the feds,
Yeah.
here is some conviction. Yeah, I gave clear, but I don't feel good at all about it. I can't sleep. Let me go to Belarus by myself to try to make it right. Girl, you fucking can't. Like, all right.
Wow. Wow.
Ooh, excuse me. But I don't know, that was like a hiccup slash cough, a lot going on. But yeah, so I appreciated that, and I like human moments, and I like that Corey. For all that we think of him, we played all season with whether or not Corey is a villain or an anti-hero. I think that he proved himself in this season to not really be either, but just someone
Mm-hmm.
with the conscience and not nearly as bad as we thought he was.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. That's a fact. Yeah, Corey just exists. And that's probably the most human thing you can do. Some days I am an anti-hero, some days I am someone who cares is going to do the right thing. And that's
For
all of
sure.
us, really.
For
Which
sure.
is probably why Corey is one of the, favorites when it comes to
Mhm.
fandom of this show.
Mhm.
Corey still sleeping with Celine, but he's up in the middle of the night. He asked her directly if she had anything to do with Bradley, to which she said no.
Because
But he's
when
put it together.
you know, mhm.
Yeah, he's put it together. And to the point of, I have the original letter, I have the original numbers. I can help your family out.
Mhm.
Take care of Bradley. Bradley, he said something along the line of Bradley wasn't a part of it until she was, or it was in the past and Bradley brought it back up, I think is what he
Yeah.
said. And tell your family to do their thing. I'll give you the original ones. Y'all can do what y'all want to with it. We just want Bradley home because she shouldn't be over there.
Mhm.
Celine, once again, playing things close to the vest. I don't know. My family, that's a lot of phone calls. I don't know if they can do it. She's just really trying to see where Corey is mentally.
Yeah.
But it looks like a deal is on the table. And I believe that's when Corey realizes that I need to turn her in. Now,
Mhm.
earlier, we do get a moment where Alex, after she resigns, comes to Corey's looking for help, as we've seen her do in the past. Listen, this is someone that I know can brainstorm with me at the very least on how to get back, how to maneuver these politics and fall, the fall from grace back to glory. He's
Mhm.
been there, done it, wrote the book, got the t-shirt, all that stuff. And we see the look on Corey's face like this ain't a good time. And Alex
That
ain't hearing it,
girl.
rightfully so. Next thing we know, Celine comes in.
Mm-hmm.
We had that moment, and Alex realizes, oh, of course, y'all sleeping together.
Yeah.
Because why wouldn't you, Corey? And this is, like I said, we don't know exactly who he is, but it's not that visit that's really worth mentioning, Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
It's the visit that Alex gets from her dad
Yeah.
that really kind of changes the whole trajectory of the remainder of this episode. So Alex resigns. Her father comes in, and I'm glad they put it on the table. Like everything that needed to be said was said.
Was said.
We
Yeah.
we said that in the Parent Trap. I'm not here to relive or rehash or get a final word. Let's just agree on that and keep it pushing. But I watched your show and I realized it didn't seem right. I was just with you in that building and you were locked in.
Yeah.
You weren't someone who was looking to step down or retire or do something else. Shit, you went off on me about this Biden interview,
Mm-hmm.
which is why he asked. He started with it was
It's
it
about
the Biden interview?
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's not that, then I know you lying.
Yeah.
And it was a nice payoff for what we get in the Parent Trap, where we know these two will never have the conventional relationship that most parents and children do.
Mm-hmm.
But this might be their normal, and I think they know how to navigate it.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they were able to do that. And maybe I don't know how to be your dad, but I know how to be your attorney.
That's it. If nothing else, I'm a brilliant legal mind and strategist.
Exactly. You know, and I want to hear the story. Let's get all the information. Let's see what's what. Because as you reminded me 2 episodes ago, you are my legacy.
Mm-hmm.
Now I kind of have a vested interest
For sure
in your success. Because if you go down in this manner, when I died, that'll also be mentioned.
For
that
sure.
You're my daughter. And then they're going to think of you and so on and so forth. So, and maybe a very, 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 very small percentage of maybe I can make up for some of the shit I've done. I don't know. But I do think he was just there to see her in need.
I don't think it's that small.
You don't think so? You think that's his way of trying to pay back?
I can't.
Okay.
I'm mad at you because postpartum, as you so called it, ruined my wife. Yes, your existence. You've been the bane of mine for all of these years since you came into the world. Howsoever, I am still your father. And again, consider in his moment of need, he also leaned on Alex in regards to trying to do something about the story of plagiarism, even though she unfortunately was not able to. Then he went back to her, not just because she's the head of news, but I know who you are. I know what you can do, whether I sing your praises or not. I know what you're capable of. And so, because we said all that we needed to say, and I'm glad it's out. Like maybe it didn't have to go like that, but I'm glad it's out so we can see each other from here. Shout out to Candy and Nene. But I think that was his way of showing up as best as I can in my expertise. I might not have no hugs and kisses for you, but I do have a get out of jail free card that I can use.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people got to show love in the way they know how.
That's it.
And that's a very, very great observation. And he tells him straight up. And Chip's there trying to brainstorm this thing. You need to sue her, and you'll be in for wrongful termination because you'll have the upper hand. You'll get all the information. Yep. It does mean war. Mm-hmm. It does mean you're laying it on the line, and you'll probably never be a reputable name in journalism or this space ever again. But it could take down cover-ups and evil. So that's the exchange. Do you want to do this, or do you want to kind of lay in the cut and keep the Alex Levy report live and figure out where you're going to shop your next home? You know, and she decides that she wants to go ahead and do it. Corey gets a phone call anonymously, or I guess from a reporter, not anonymously, but they have a tip about Alex on the press conference. He goes to see Alex and says, "You are not going to win this battle. Yeah, it's over. Every stone will be unturned or turned over. Every secret is going to be told. Everybody you fucked, everybody you fucked over, all of that. Your whole life is on display." And once again, Alex doesn't care, but we don't see it in the moment, but they do a good job of editing this. For sure. Where we see the last 15 minutes of the episode of Alex at the courthouse, and we see everything that goes into play. The assist to Mia, the assist from Chip. Corey's obviously helped in. Mia gives the newsroom, and I can't remember her name right now.
Layla.
Just kind of, hey, I don't know if you've seen this before. I don't know. Did you notice? Did you know this was going on? This is crazy. One of those.
Yeah.
Obviously, she's in on it. This is probably my favorite part of the show. The integrity of reporting the news, even if the news makes you look bad.
Yeah.
So there's a lot in season 1 and season 2. Sex scandals and all that kind of stuff, sexual harassments. Well, Celine, being in charge of this evil empire, doesn't want it ran.
Right.
Other news outlets are reporting this. Celine's claiming defamation. Ben is like, nah, this is where the company man comes out. Nah, we ain't gonna run it. We're gonna stay with our normal broadcast. I love the look when Mia gives them and says, you know this is on YouTube, right? This is your rep. You are going to be known as the head of news that was too scared to report the news.
Yep.
So you damned if you do, damned if you don't. You got to go with this story.
And everybody else has already picked it up.
Yes. Like, it's going to be very obvious what's going on. And once your exit comes, because it will come in this situation, you're going to have to knock on some doors, and they're going to ask you, why didn't you be run this one of the biggest stories of this year, past 5 years, whatever the case may be. So he realized, once again, the journalism of it all. This is what we do. It's in us. There is no politics when it comes to that's one of the few professions outside of the executive side. When it comes to pure journalists, we're telling the truth.
For sure. For sure.
And that's what it comes down to. So we get all of this, and of course, Celine gets a phone
call.
American
News Networks.
Right. I wonder if we'll get more of them next season. Who knows? Who knows? You never know what's going on. But Celine gets a call from her brother saying, I thought all this was handled. Why is your news company running this report? And of course, she calls Corey. Corey makes it seem like he's there to help. I'm here at the courthouse now. I see her. This is a madhouse. Celine going off. I'll do whatever. Bradley will never come home from Belarus. This shit keep going on. I'll destroy her. And we hear the echo, and we kind of figure it out. She's on speaker, and the whole world is listening to Celine admit to her role in this cover-up, and Bradley being over there in Belarus, not being let out. And it was a gas moment. Even the reactions from people in the newsroom, people in the courthouse. As you're watching all of this unfold, Rachel, this is obviously the big payoff for the season and the episode. What are you thinking? What are you feeling as this unfolds?
I didn't know where Alex was going to go with this. And so shout out to Corey for the assist. And you said it earlier. I thought their flashback to Corey giving Alex the information was masterful, because in the initial scene, all we get is Corey basically saying, girl, you're never going to get it. Like, it's not as simple as you think. Like, are you really prepared to lose everything? Because that is what's going to happen. And so in the replay, we see this. We see Corey, who does have this relationship with Celine. This is Corey after learning that he's the fall guy for this very plan that they have or that they're investigating. I'm playing off my relationship. You've already confessed to me in so many words that you've done this, that you're behind Bradley. And so now, in an effort to get my girl back, clear my conscience, not let my mother's death be in vain, essentially, I got to get you up out of here, because somebody can go down. I've already been down. I can't get any lower. I can't get any lower. And again, for as close, quote unquote, as Corey and Celine have been, I do think that there is a level of closeness also that he and Alex have, just from being in the trenches together in those newsrooms for all of those years. And I don't want to see you lose it all because I know how it feels to essentially lose it all. I don't really want that for you. And I was able to bounce back even off of this. My mother is dead. She's rich. I'm sure it's some money. So I can be all right for a hot second, off of assets and inheritance and whatnot until I get the next newsroom or this movie ever takes off, if it ever does. So
Mm-hmm.
I was proud of Corey. I loved it. I thought it was beautifully shot. Quite a gasp and aha moment, like, oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think that that's what would happen. I didn't think that he would show up in that capacity and let the viewing audience and the characters obviously catch Celine red-handed. I didn't know how
Mm-hmm.
that they would do that, but they did. We heard it live and in living color from the horse, straight from the horse's mouth.
Yeah.
Very interesting when we talk about familial relationships. When we meet the brother, during Parent Trap, we see that we talked about here is this daughter who maybe should be running things, quote unquote. And now I have this little news station and I'm trying to do it. I'm trying to prove to you and dad that it should have been me. And y'all didn't believe in me. And now here we are. And this is fucking why.
Mm-hmm.
We got to come clean up your shit. You got us in deeper trouble. Now, who knows what investigations will be opened into the business, into the family, into the network? Like, your carelessness
Mm-hmm.
has just caused a ripple effect and opened up a world of trouble for us all, because the reality is you didn't have to get Bradley locked up abroad. You really could have found a way to shut her down right there in the Big Apple. You did not have to do all of that. But
Mm-hmm.
I do think that was her trying to flex her muscle, not just to Bradley and Chip, but to her father and brother. Like, see what I can do too. You know what I'm saying? Y'all aren't the only ones who know how to get results or who can shut shit down. Well, maybe they are.
You make a great point when it comes to Bradley didn't have to get locked up.
Mm-hmm.
Once you go over there, and we know journalists are persistent, they're going to get the story. But once you go over there and go through that, you're detained. You're not going back.
Right.
Like once you release, once somebody come gets you, once the
Mm-hmm.
State Department signs off, you're not going back.
Yeah.
No news company or organization would lead you back there,
Mm-hmm.
or anybody else within their house, to my knowledge, to go get that story. The story dead. We tried. Let's look at other avenues that we might be able to report this. Let's look
Mm-hmm.
at this from another angle. But you're not going back to Belarus.
Right.
That could have been enough. And maybe Celine keeps some of that heat off of her. Shout out to Pops, man. I remember when he was teaching me to drive, he would always say, leave yourself an out. And then
Mm-hmm.
as life went on, that is a piece of advice that could apply to multiple areas. Just leave yourself an out. That was a beautiful thing about this whole twist.
Yeah.
There were no outs for Celine whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything was definitive. There was no maybe, oh, maybe she could explain herself. Nah, bruh. It's over.
And consider, and I hadn't thought of it till just this moment. Consider maybe some of the cruelty, because she didn't have to do all of that, to Bradley is because of the Corey of it all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's real petty. That's super petty. But it could be right. But I think that's the payoff for us, knowing how evil Celine is, knowing she's pulling all the strings behind the scene, to see that public outing, to see that
Mhm.
public shaming of I knew you was foul, and now we
Mhm.
get to see it. And
Yep.
you don't even get to leave. Yeah, you can run down the hallway of your office, but security coming to scoop you out.
Mhm.
You're taking the fall for all of this. You know it when you're on the plane. You know what time it is. It's over. You'll never be able to be in that kind of power again. Not as
Mm.
long as your dad and your brother are running things. So we gave you the shot. You messed it up because you were so hell bent on showing us how much control you had.
Mhm.
You weren't actually taking care of the control that you had.
For sure.
And it came back to bite. And I thought the episode wrapped up perfectly with seeing that. Also, not leaving Martha Ellison off the hook. Corey he was a whistleblower on his mom because, once again, you said it perfectly about his connection and kind of maybe his payback. So
Mhm.
all the things that he's done, even for his mother's sins. And of course, we also get Bradley coming home
Yeah.
with a nice Paul and Alex moment in there, which Lee is setting up a good romance between Paul and Alex in season 5. It makes sense. I'm ready to explore a happier, calmer Alex, like a one that is taken care of a little bit
Mhm.
and doesn't feel like she has the weight of the world.
Like last
Alex
season.
is such an intriguing character. You said, yeah,
Like the bulk of last season.
yeah. I want to see that again while she tries to find her way. Alex, as a character, as intriguing as she is,
Mhm.
maybe lost her way a little bit this season.
Yeah,
And I want to see her get back on something that she wants
for
to do
sure.
and not get caught in the crosshairs. So we'll see. I thought it was great. I'm glad Bradley come home. I'm with you. We even talked about it last episode. Felt like it should have been a season 5 release,
Mhm.
but she home now, and I don't know where her story goes and what they talk about. I have no idea, but I do know things are different at UBN. I do know there
PTS
will be a co. You said what?
PTSD
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But like I mentioned earlier, what I'm excited about for next season, and I think that wraps this up. Is
for
there
sure.
anything else we missed or you want to talk about?
No, shout out to anybody unfairly imprisoned abroad or domestically. Shout out to y'all. Keep your head up. Thank you guys for watching, liking, subscribing, listening, and sharing. We appreciate all the love. Happy holidays. It is Thanksgiving week. I'm sure I'll press publish on one of those reels or maybe combine. I'm sorry, y'all. I am end of the year dead to the bed. But
Nah,
thank you.
that's a that's a great reminder. I was going to say it is the end of the year. Hopefully, everybody else is resting and resetting. We're trying to do that right now, and that's officially a wrap on we got y'all for 2025. There will be more episodes. However, go ahead.
If you want to talk about the last season of Bel Air, we can in one fell swoop.
Okay, it
I
might be
started.
something I don't.
It came out. The first 4 episodes came out yesterday.
Yeah, so that means the rest of them will be finished by the end of the year. Okay, so we
Mhm.
might do that. Maybe if Spotify's, I haven't gotten any emails. Spotify's continues their wrapped. Maybe we'll
Mhm.
come back for a wrapped episode.
Oh,
But
yeah.
as far as like actual episodic
Oh,
television, we're wrapped up for 2025. Please stay subscribed.
yeah.
Obviously, we're not going anywhere. That's how we operate. It's kind of a seasonal and case
Mhm.
by case. And if it goes too long without any kind of show that we're doing, we will definitely make sure we fill in with what we've been watching or what Ray's watching, really. And I'll comment on that. I
Palm
do
Royale,
know,
Loop, Bel Air.
yeah, I don't we haven't discussed anything, so I'm not saying that this is gonna happen. I do know a show that Rachel and myself enjoy comes back at the end of January. Shrinking on Apple TV.
Oh, yes. Luxury.
Maybe that's something that you'll see us on or covered. But just stay subscribed. We appreciate y'all. Tune in, watch all the good television that's out there. Unwind, reset, rest, get ready for 2026. If you want to hear Rachel and myself, don't you worry. If you're on YouTube, you can catch us on Culture Garden, same feed. If you don't listen to Culture Garden, please subscribe. You will find us talking about film and
For
all
sure.
other things. We're gearing up. We have a holiday episode coming or Thanksgiving episode this week, and
Mhm.
then we'll get into some Christmas episodes or holiday episodes in that matter for December as we wrap things up. So appreciate y'all. That's it. We out. We got y'all.
We got y'all. Bye. Happy holidays.
Peace.